The old wooden chair has been under the porch for many years. It is where Mr. Lamb, a man who is past the age of 60, often sits quietly every afternoon, sipping a cup of tea, watching children play in front of the yard. But today, his eyes stopped longer on the dark-skinned boy standing alone in front of the gate. The boy didn't run and jump, didn't laugh and talk, just stood there with his eyes full of fear. Mr. Lamb recalled, 30 years ago, he was a different man, one who carried with him stigma and prejudice. He once said to his son, "Don't play with black kids. They are not like us." Those words were deeply ingrained in the mind of his little son. Then one day, he himself became an anti-chain, pushing a friend away just because of the color of his skin. When he realized that, Mr. Lamb still thought he had done nothing wrong. But then, the ironic fate. Years later, his son married a girl of African descent. They gave birth to a brown-skinned child. And then, he, who had shunned other skin colors, had a grandson with that blood. On the day the child was born, Mr. Lamb did not go to the hospital. He found it difficult to accept the truth. But when he saw his son holding the little child in his arms, he understood skin color doesn't say anything, only love is important. In the months that followed, he gradually got used to his grandson. That child was no different from any other child, laughing, crying, and clinging to him every time he came home. And he suddenly realized how many years he had been wrong. Now, when he looked at the boy standing in front of the gate, with the eyes of his own grandson, his heart tightened. He put down the teacup, got up, and walked outside. "Do you want to play with those children?" The boy was stunned and then nodded cautiously. Mr. Lin smiled and held out his hand. The boy hesitated for a moment, then grabbed his wrinkled hand. The wooden chair was still there, but this time it was no longer alone. An old man and a dark-skinned boy sat down together under the golden sunset. A gentle breeze passed, bringing with it the whispers of the past and the change of heart. From that day on, no one had to stand alone in front of the gate anymore.